Count me in.
Getting the timer set here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3.
Here I am at the Roosevelt Hotel this evening, and you know, when I was a little boy here in Hollywood, this is the hotel my mother and I used to come to, this world-famous Roosevelt Hotel. It's directly across the street from the Grauman's Chinese Theater, which today is called Mann's Chinese Theater. When I was a little boy, I used to walk in through that lobby and I used to see people like Rudy Valley, Dick Haymes, Alan Young, and it was such a great hotel, and it still is. But it's been remodeled, it's been different. Hollywood has changed. We're in 1996 now, and I'm sitting here looking around this beautiful hotel, and there's a lovely lady who is from New York City. She's been in Hollywood for many years, worked all over the world. She's opening here at the Roosevelt April 2nd. And she's a wonderful actress, singer, Monique van Vooren. How are you, my darling?
Hello, my darling.
You look wonderful, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Monique, at 17 you came to America from Belgium?
Yes, I came here on a Fulbright scholarship and went to New York University.
Uh-huh.
And I majored in philosophy, which is a far cry from show business.
Philosophy, that's my love, philosophy. I always love people who are philosophers and also architects.
Yes.
You know?
You know, you mentioned what the Roosevelt brought to you as far as memories concerned.
Right.
Imagine, you know, for me too, it was the very first hotel I've ever came to America. And the reason I came here in Hollywood during the war in Belgium, because I'm from Belgium, Brussels.
Brussels?
Yes.
That's great.
Richard Gully.
Uh-huh.
Who is a very eminent citizen here.
He's a columnist.
Yes,
very good.
And he was attached to the a special service force in Belgium, and at Christmas the families in Belgium were asked to take an American soldier home for Christmas.
Right.
And he was the one, and he kept my mother alive during the war with K rations, etc. And when I grew up, he was the first one to send me movie magazines and pancake makeup. And when I came with my mother here, we stayed at the Roosevelt Hotel.
This has a lot of memories. They say Marilyn Monroe was here. They, you know,
I don't
Tyrone
think
Power. Marilyn Monroe, they say they have a lot of rooms. But anyway, let's not even talk about Marilyn Monroe. We're talking about Monique van Vooren today. Monique, you're going to be helping here at the Roosevelt April the 2nd. You're singing your old cabaret act?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Well, I have been doing cabaret for many, many years, and theaters, stage, films, etc. And about 8 years ago, I had a very severe horseback riding accident.
Really?
Quite similar to what Christopher Reeves had. But instead of being paralyzed, I completely lost my eyesight. For a year and 7 months, I was totally blind. And I had several eye operations, and it is the first time I'm going back working again in the business, because as you know, I wrote a novel, Night Sanctuary.
That's right.
And it's the first time I'm going to come back performing, and it's here in California at the CineGrill.
When you're talking about this novel of yours, you had some wonderful people in that novel you put in. I meant Truman Capote's and all these wonderful people.
Mainly
Nureyev, yeah, because you were very good friends with Nureyev.
Yes, we were
Nureyev and you were very, very close. Why did Nureyev love Monique van Vooren so much? Why? What made...
Oh, I don't know. I think I loved him far more than he loved me. My admiration for him was total. And I think he had admiration in me as far as my courage was concerned.
Right.
I never really took the easy road, and I think he appreciated that. And also,
actually, what kind of... Oh, go ahead.
And he loved... I think he liked beautiful women, frankly, and
yes, he did.
To adore him, and I was one of them.
What made Monique surrounded herself with Truman Capote's and Nureyev? Look, hear yourself as Truman right now. Look at this. I love Truman. He loved you too.
Yes.
He loved beautiful women too.
Yes, and he was a great wit, and I love a great sense of humor. And my act, by the way, is a lot of the things that I sing, besides singing Sondheim and
Right.
I write a lot of the things that I wrote too.
You do? And are you talking about the
No.
people on stage in
No.
your act at all?
No,
You
no,
don't?
no.
There is, I see.
Only one person I talk. It's myself.
Is that- I'm looking at this picture right now. This picture is from Hair
It was the opening of Hair
in New York, the original.
Yes, and I went there at the opening with Rudolf Nureyev at the opening of Hair, and it was the first see-through blouse. It was by
Look
Yves
at this.
Saint
See,
Laurent.
I want that blouse.
It
Look
was
at that.
a
See-through.
commotion. It was printed in all the magazines all over the world.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
You have great eyes. Those eyes of yours have always been so beautiful. Look at these beautiful eyes of yours. Absolutely
Well,
gorgeous.
I have to sort of hide them now because I cannot have the light in my eyes.
When you came out to Hollywood at the beginning of your career, Monique, all the people you met, who did you meet at first? Who were some of the big producers?
Well, I was not interested in show business when I first came here. I just came here to visit, and I fell into show business completely by accident. And everything I was going to do was going to be temporarily. I started as a showgirl in a Broadway show called Almanac. But imagine the talent that Almanac had. It had Billy the Wolf, Hermione Gingold, Polly Burton was in it. It was the first show of Harry Belafonte, Carlton Carpenter. It had Tina Louise was a showgirl, and myself. And then I went to films, but I was never really driven.
Driven to that.
No.
I want to go back to your Belgium life of Monique van Vooren, like as a little girl growing up in Belgium.
Yes.
And what kind of life did you have there?
Well,
Happy life?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes, unfortunately, because in this country, I know that it's very hard to overcome success. When you say I had a happy childhood, everybody was raped. I never starved. I was never raped. I'm not a reformed alcoholic.
Right. Never abused as a child. Like Americans are all abused.
Oh, but if I don't understand why people tell these things. Even if I was, I would.
You wouldn't say it, would you?
I
wouldn't
never,
either.
never in a million years.
The Americans love to get on and talk about
Well,
that.
they like to excuse their wealth by probably saying, "Well, don't envy me too much, because really, look at what I had to surmount." Well, no, I had a rather happy childhood.
So actually, you really wanted to get into philosophy. Let's go back. Philosophy and. What's your philosophy of life now, as growing up now as Monique van Vooren, have seen and tasted life?
I never was a wise person. I always followed my heart.
Heart?
Always. And I always made...
Even with the men in your life, you followed your heart?
Always.
Really?
Yes. Never anything else. I can sincerely say that that is not a very smart thing to do, because independence, you pay a very high price for it, especially when you get older. I see all my girlfriends, they've, they all marry all these men with one foot in the grave, but I never did it, no.
What has been exciting for Monique van Vooren living in New York City? I mean, you're living in Manhattan, on the east side of Manhattan. You're in society, you're out for lunches, you're out for dinners, the openings of shows. Well, do you enjoy that kind of a life, Monique?
What am I going to say? No, I'm going to say I love it, because I love the theater, I love ballet. I frankly couldn't live in any other city in America but New York, because if I don't go to the ballet or the theater 3 times a week, I might as well live in Belgium. I love it. And I have also, what I have done with my life is that I have not just been friendly with one group of people, like show people. I have cultivated people in all walks of life. Whether people were artists or even lawyers, bankers. I have
well, that's what's in New York.
Yes, I have friends in absolutely every walk of life. So I'm not just restricted to one group of people. That if you, like in California, it's so well known that if you you have 2 or 3 films that are flops and you're no longer on the A-list, people don't see you anymore. Well, that is not
What about
like
the Frankenstein movie you did? Frankenstein for our wonderful
Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol.
Well,
you were very close with Andy.
Yes.
You used to go out with Andy. You were always tight.
Yes.
Andy Warhol was a very unusual kind of a guy, very soft-spoken. He had this crowd that spoke for him. He never spoke.
No, he never said anything. He reminded me actually of the character Chauncey Gray in Being There, the Justy Tosinski novel. You know, the character who never says anything, and just because he never says anything, people imbued him with all kinds of attributes and all kinds of that finally becomes even president of the United States. So Andy was like the emperor who wore no clothes, you know, and everybody thought that he was so beautifully dressed.
You enjoyed that time of the year when Andy was around in the 60s, 70s, really.
Yes,
in
70s.
the 70s. That was the time in New York to live, though. Those clubs going around, wow, those mad clubs they used.
Yeah, the clubs were just unbelievable, like Studio 54. It will never happen again. But then it was a special time of life. People were young, had money, carefree. That was before AIDS, etc. So it couldn't happen again today at all.
You got married twice or once?
4 times.
Four times. Oh, okay. Any other hobbies?
Oh,
4 times. Wow. Monique, children. You have how many?
I have one. I have one son.
Oh, that's right. You have Eric Purcell. That evidently one of your husbands was Purcell. And he was a restaurant owner, or was he an agent?
No, he's the manager of a country singers like Eddie Arnold, and he represents a lot of those people.
I want to see about Dean Martin. We just lost a great man,
Oh,
Dean
yes.
Martin. You did a film with Dean Martin.
10,000 bedrooms.
10,000 bedrooms. You were just wonderful in that. Look how beautiful. Monique van Vooren. Tell me, when I use the word Monique van Vooren, they confuse you with Mamie Van Doren.
Yes.
A lot of people do, don't
Let
they?
me tell you that I must say one thing. Mamie Van Doren, her name is Joan Orlando. She told her name, Mamie Van Doren. But Mamie Van Doren and me, Monique Van Vooren, we both came at a time, you know, before silicone implants.
Natural, right.
So what you saw was what you got. Now everybody has those things where you can kill a fly on it, I think, no?
Right, that's true. This is Robert Morris. I love this. You and Robert Morris and Mariev.
Yes.
Look at that. Where was this at?
It was backstage in New York when he was doing How to Succeed in Business.
This is Bobby, right, of course, with Rudy Valley. And look at Nariev in you. I just love this picture. So sweet of you in there. Look at this. These pictures of you. What do you? And this is a birthday party of Nariev?
Yes, it's my birthday too.
It's yours.
Mine and his.
And together?
Yes, we were 3 days apart, and it was done at the Iranian embassy in New York in its heydays. And he had his skate, and I had mine there.
Oh, Monique, these legs.
Oh, this was a tour with Gene Barry that I did of Destry Rides Again.
It's like those legs will go all the way up, don't they? They never stop. Have beautiful legs, Monique.
Thank you.
You're going to be doing some songs here. How many songs in the act here at Roosevelt?
Oh, I have
about 10, 12, 14, 15?
Yes, something like that.
Are you excited? Are you very excited?
Very, very excited.
I understand that Stone's going to be here, Oliver Stone, his mother. You're very close with Oliver Stone's mother.
Yes, and to Oliver too.
And to? And
I know him forever, yes.
Really? You know
I
him?
actually was in his very first film, way before the film Hand. It was a film he did in New York in his mother's townhouse. To this day, I don't know what part I played. It was called Sugar Cookie.
Sugar Cookie.
The other day, to tell you how long ago it was, I received a residual check for $2.62. So that must tell you that it's
I just saw you in a film on television. It constantly repeats. Frankenstein. With
Flesh for Frankenstein.
Flesh for Frankenstein.
With Udo Kier and Joe D'Alessandro.
He's in town here.
I know.
Is he coming to your opening?
I don't know. I haven't been in touch with him. I haven't had a minute. I've been here only 2 days, and I've been working, trying to
get your show
organize.
together. I'm looking at you right now, Monique. it's so you seem to have a good time right now in life, right now, at the moment, as we speak.
I've always had a good time. It's only when I had this catastrophe happening. But even then, you know, I didn't think it was, something would have happened, I would have gone through it. People say, whoa, I didn't know you went through that. But again, I don't see why you tell people things that people cannot do anything about, you know.
You were going with, I just read something in the last couple of years ago, you were going with some dancer from a tango show.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Are you still going with him?
No.
Or you have a man in your life right now?
No.
No?
No,
I see.
I don't.
Who's this tango dancer you were going with?
He was the lead dancer in Tango Argentino, the show that was here and all over the world.
Monique van Vooren always gets these hot men, these hot studs.
Why not? Why not? Something wrong with that?
No, no, no. It's Valentino-ish. Valentino-ish. Look at this. Who is this, Monique?
This is Valentino, the designer,
yes.
and Giorgio Santangelo,
yes.
who used to design most of my clothes. He's dead, unfortunately. And Valentino is
Who's
very
some of
much
your favorite
alive.
designers, Monique?
I still love Valentino. I like Norma Kamali. I like Oscar de la Renta. And John Galliano.
What is your day like in Manhattan for Monique van Vooren when you wake up, and what time of the day you wake up in Manhattan, and what is your day like?
I try to get up about 10.
10, really?
Yeah. And I skip lunch. I think it's a really waste of time. From time to time, I have friends who come in New York. I gave those girls luncheon up a long time ago. I decided it's nothing but the same people you're going to see at night, you see them at lunch. I'd rather go to the gym. I belong to a great gym in New York called the...
so you work out to keep
yourself? Yeah. Yeah, I do. And that's what I miss since I'm here. I have to go and work out.
I'm looking at Ash Wednesday with Elizabeth Taylor. You did a film,
yes, it was done
film.
in Italy, yes.
That done in Italy? Yeah, tell me about Ash Wednesday, working with Elizabeth. Did you, what was that about?
She was so wonderful. She was then, Richard was there because he was accompanying her.
Richard Burton?
Yes, and we did it outside of Venice in a place called Treviso. And they were having their problems. So she was not on the set very many times. It was wonderful because a part that for me would have taken a week, I was there 3 weeks, spent a lot of time going to different islands.
The Italians must love Monique van Vooren
I lived in Rome.
Did you live?
I made many films in Italy.
You did?
Yeah. By the way, Flesh for Frankenstein was done in Italy. Yes.
I see, I see. Tell me about the one you did with, the one with John Voight. That was a pretty good film. I liked that one. That was an interesting film.
Do you know that I have never
seen it?
It's called Fearless Frank.
Right.
And he did that film before he did Midnight Cowboy. But John Schlesinger, who did Midnight Cowboy, wanted Midnight Cowboy to be his first film. So they delayed the release of Fearless Frank. They wanted Midnight Cowboy to come out first. But you know that Fearless Frank was directed, written, everything at the very beginning of Phil Kaufman, who won the Academy Award years later for The Right Stuff.
You did a lot of off-Broadway and Broadway shows, and
I
also
didn't do
summer theater.
Only Broadway.
Yeah, Broadway. And you did summer stock too.
A lot of summer stock.
Summer stock.
Yes.
Irma La Douce. Tell me about that.
I did a national company of that.
Kismet.
Kismet, yes. I did Kismet, Can for years and years.
I love the Merry Widow one. Did you enjoy that one?
Yes, I like that. Yeah. I did Flu Flu.
Flu Flu.
Flu Flu Coco Lulu.
Monique van Vooren, the book you already finished. Is there another book coming from Monique right now?
Yes, there is. There's another book.
Because you wrote this book before, it was in the 70s, the one?
No, it was 83.
83? Was it really in 83? So
it's been taken in option for film already 4 times, and always by Preston Fisher. Twice when he was with Laurie Mard, and when he went with Republic Pictures, and then now he's on his own and he has it again.
Who would you like to see play Monique van Vooren in films?
I'm not in the book.
No?
No, it's fiction. It's a mixture. The leading man in there is a Russian dancer.
Do you miss Andy Warhol? Monique, you were so close with Andy. New Yorkers who are like yourself.
Do I miss Andy Warhol?
Yeah. Do you miss him right now every time?
No.
You don't? You think of him all the time, though, don't you?
Not at all.
No?
No.
Do you think he was such a genius?
Well,
What made him such a genius with those cans, like soup cans?
It came at the right time, and he invented something that people wanted to possess. It's what can I say? His art. He certainly created something absolutely different.
Right.
That people want to own, collect, and therefore it sets a price.
I see.
But Andy was, he used to dismiss people on the way up, you know. He just, he was so in love with celebrities, more
That's
than
what it
anyone
was all
I've
about.
ever
He
known.
was he was a big fan of celebrities, wasn't he?
More than anyone I've ever known.
Right. I think of him. I used to see him in New York, and as a matter of fact, I used to go to Fire Island. You ever go to his house in Fire Island?
No, he didn't have a house in Fire
No,
Island.
he
It was
didn't,
in
but
Montauk.
At the beginning, he did.
Yes?
He shared a house in Fire Island because he used to take Joe's pictures all the time. Joe D'Alessandro's pictures
Yes?
in Fire Island. Yes.
Really?
This
Because
is a
I used to
long
go to
time
his
ago.
house in Montauk. I still go to that house that now Paul Morrissey has. I was there last weekend.
Tell me about the auctions. You go to the
Yes,
yeah?
I go to Sotheby's and Christie's.
Sotheby's and
Very
Christie's. Tell me
interesting.
about that. I'd love to know how Monique van Vooren looks at all these jewels, these wonderful things.
Well, when they had the, for instance, the sale of the New Year collection from his apartment in New York,
right.
I did go, and there were some things that belonged to me that I had given to him that I wanted back, but I couldn't bid high enough to get them back.
You still have some things.
I have a lot of things of his, certainly.
You won't get rid of them.
No.
And how about Andy? You still have some things.
Oh, I have a lot of paintings of his, yes. He was very generous to
Do
me.
you know he gave me a piggy bank, a jar, a cookie jar.
Yeah?
He bought on. He used to shop his things
I
in
know.
Third Avenue in these little stores.
Did you see how
thrift
much
shops.
his things brought when they
Yeah, isn't that strange?
millions and millions, all these cookie jars and everything?
I got that cookie jar. It's still I have it.
You know, everybody wants part of the dream. You know, they want.
Part of the dream.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. Part of the dream. Has it been a dream for Monique van Vooren not coming to Hollywood and staying here instead of? You think you did the wrong thing by staying in New York and not coming and staying in Hollywood and Beverly Hills?
I had opportunities, I think, like nobody did, because I was young, I was very beautiful,
Right.
and I was unusual, and but you know, I didn't play ball like you had to do.
What do you mean
in
by
the-
playing ball? Like a casting
Oh, there
couch?
was, absolutely.
A lot of casting couches then?
Absolutely. I absolutely did not go into that whatsoever. And then again, I was not motivated, really.
Right,
Everything, I always thought, oh, well, this is temporarily. Temporarily. I remember that I had been offered a big contract at MGM, and I just dropped it to go to Europe with, I don't know, a guitar player whose name I cannot recall today. If you
So you got
put me to
you
the
found
cross.
your heart. Your heart
Always,
ruled you, and
yeah.
you went and followed this
Yeah,
hot stud.
I certainly don't advise that to anybody, because it is an absolute, it is stupidity, sheer stupidity.
So you do have regrets about this?
I have regrets about one thing.
What?
Is that I did not really follow one single thought thoroughly.
Right.
Whether I wanted to be a singer, an actress, a performer, a married woman,
Right.
a wonderful mistress, an exciting lover. I didn't pursue any of those things. You know, you have to really have a tangent and have blinders like a horse and go for it.
Right. So
You know, we have a saying in French: if you run after too many rabbits, you do not catch any.
Monique van Vooren, how many languages do you speak?
6.
6 languages.
Well,
French
you know,
is your
everybody does.
French is
French
really
is my mother
is your
tongue. Yeah.
Look, when you say unusual, when you came to Hollywood, look at
But
this.
no, that's not when I came to Hollywood.
No,
That was
no,
about
this is now.
a few years ago.
Yes, this is now.
in
But
Sardinia.
look how you, but in Sardinia. But look at this. This is a great picture. Sardinia, that's Italy.
That's my
Tell me,
home.
is that your home?
Yes.
Oh, I
I
love
have
it.
a home in Sardinia.
You're probably Italiana.
Sì, parlo italiano.
Oh, I love to speak Italian. Parli italiano to me.
Sì.
Parlo
Parlo benissimo l'italiano, sono italiani di cuore.
Ah, tell me about this
Mi piace l'Italia.
Oh, I love Italians. You're right. Tell me about the.
My house in Sardinia?
Yes, tell me about that.
I bought the land there before the Aga Khan made it the Costa Smeralda.
Really?
So I have land, lots of land in front of the sea. That's where I'm going to forever go one day.
When you leave New York.
When I leave the world, probably.
See, when you traveled all over the world and tasted life, there is no place like Manhattan. Am I right?
For me, no.
For me either. For me either. When I've been, see, they say when you leave New York, you're camping out. I've been camping out here in Hollywood for years. I want to go back so badly.
Yeah, always, you know, when I come to California, people say, "Oh, we're going out of town for the weekend." I figured you are out of town.
You're right. Anyway, we're here at the Roosevelt Hotel, Monique, and I'm looking around this beautiful lounge, and the show's going to start.
I have
now
a great
you got a
show,
rehearsal. Now you're going to go and rehearse.
Yes.
And I don't want to keep you from that, but I just want to say one thing, that you're opening here April the 2nd.
And I want you all of my old fans and my new fans to come and see me.
And boy, would it be exciting to have. You're having
It's going to be
Oliver
a great
Stone.
opening. Oh, but
is Grace Robbins coming in from New York?
Yes,
Your friend
she is.
Grace?
Yes, my great.
I love her.
Yes, she just
Harold
moved
Robbins'
to New York.
wife.
She's taking care of my cats.
So so you captured her away from Hollywood and brought her to New York.
Yes, just at the time that I'm out here.
Now you're leaving. You're going to make your rehearsals, and then you're on your way to Palm Springs.
Yes.
To get ready, and then you'll be back.
Yes, and I'll be back. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Monique. Very
Thank you so much
I love
for
you,
having
darling.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's fine, Randy. That's good enough.